Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got this G70 back with a cvvt, what do you call that? It's like slow response or something like that. So I don't remember because it's been for a while now since we diagnosed that. um, and we're doing right now is to replace that exhaust cvvt, and at this attention, I think that's what I put in my recommendation. I don't know why I didn't put the chain at least, but I guess we'll just deal what we have right now. So anyway, here's our setup. I'm draining the oil right now in the oil pan. So usually when I do the job, I remove the oil pan, but in this case it's kind of not practical, right? Because of this frame here, unlike those Hyundais that is just, you know, very open, the oil pan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove our bolts that's holding or mounted to our chain, timing chain cover. As you can see there, let me put this up here. So as you can see there, there's some bolts here. So it's on the front, 1 2 3 4, and the last one is at the very back one, 5, which is now the issue is I don't know if I can put my wrench there at least, and then I can just use my hand to remove it, because we got our power steering here. That's a big issue there now, because underneath here you cannot really access that. There's no space there. So that's one way to consider also this repair. I don't know if I need to at least loosen this steering rack. So but to do that is I need to remove our universal joint there, and yeah, and let it hang. But we'll see. I'm gonna use a wrench first and see if I can remove that. And for the front one, it's pretty straightforward. As you can see there, we got a lot of space to remove this guy here. We're gonna use a, what do you call that, impact gun. I have a smaller one, so I hope that's enough to remove that bolt there, and at least I think everything has more space now. So yeah, we're gonna do the job. Yeah. Okay, so we're at the engine bay right now. So we're trying to remove that one bolt as I talked earlier. I use this wrench here. It's good. It's accessible. You already loosen it, so you just have to be patient on that one bolt, because you just need to remove that one bolt there to at least remove this whole cover up. So now I'm just gonna remove that, and then we're gonna start doing our stuff here in the front of this engine. Okay, so I also remove our coolant, because this pipe here, this is a coolant. So drain your coolant, and now we're gonna start removing our drive belt. First we're gonna remove our is there space? Do I need to remove the pulley for the water pump? So we need to remove the water pump pulley. Let's loosen the bolt first. Okay, then it's pretty straightforward. Our diagram on our serpentine belt, crank, tensioner, alternator, compressor. So 17. Oh, that's wrong way. Oops. Okay, so put that aside. Side. Next is we're gonna turn our crank, and then remove our belt. So as I said, I don't know if I said last time when I did a belt, there's a special tool here, because this is a stretch belt. So you need to put something there just to move it aside. So start from this guy here at the back, at the bottom. Okay. So since we don't have really a timing issue here, like the base timing, like correlation code, usually put our crank to our timing marks here, to our timing chain cover. There's a mark on your pulley and there's a mark on the timing chain cover, so I put that on the T, right? And that's it. Let's put this on top here, because I don't think we're gonna be removing our valve cover here, because this setup is like the Santa Fe 2-liter turbo. We got our timing chain cover here. There's like a cover on top of it, so we need to remove this aluminum part here. So let me just remove this pulley here. So that sees, it's all rusty, as you can see that. Oh, that's tight, man. That's all the rust. Oh my. Oh my god. I use a pry bar here. Oh my god, that's tight, man. Why? Okay, so I remove our pulley. Just be patient with that. It's all rusty. You don't want to go pry it like crazy, because maybe the seal of that pump will get broken. But anyway, so that's good. That's out. So next, oh man. Okay, so next will be let's move this hose here out of the way. What do we have? We have 10 mm there, 10 mm here. I'm gonna remove this hose and let's flip it on the side. Okay, that's free. Now let's remove this guy here. You know what? Before that, we just remove this vacuum line here. I just spray some penetrating fluid on that. Right? This is easier for. There we go. Put that aside. So now we have to be careful on this guy. We need to be careful. The pipe on this one is so thin, so let's just put this on the side. Not doing so crazy. Yeah, don't bend it too crazy. Okay, so like that. Now our connector here. What? What? What is it? Why is that hard to remove this? Come on, okay, put that aside. Okay, so what we're gonna do is remove our crank pulley there. Do I need to remove the tensioner? Yeah, I think I need to remove the tensioner. So the tensioner, I think it's just one bolt there. That's 19. Will my gun fit? Okay, good. No, that's not 19, that's 17. That's 17. Okay, and there's gonna be a guide there. You just have to line that up on that side there. Next is our crank pulley, 22. Good. Go. I hope this is not stuck. Okay, nice. Okay. So we're gonna be careful with that one. And also there's a like a half moon guide there on the crank itself. Make sure you don't lose that, right? So next is we're just gonna start removing all our bolts. We got 12 mm all around, and then there's 10 mm small ones in the middle. No, 3. One here on this pipe, and one in the middle on the side. So just I pick 7. Okay, 7. Let's start with all the 10 mm. Okay, looks like they're all the same sizes. So they're all the same sizes. 10 mm. Okay, so now we're gonna do the 12. I think all the 10 are all gone, so we're gonna use the 12 mm, remove all the 12 mm. So let's see, I'm gonna use my 1/2 inch here. Now that's too long. So it looks like all the 12 mm are all the same sizes. What? So it looks like our 12 mm are the same sizes, I think. Now I'm gonna remove our Okay, I think there's one more here. Okay, so it looks like all our bolts are all done now. The other hard part here is taking off this whole cover, because this one is gonna be so tight here. So I'm just spraying the side of where the dowel pin is. So usually what I'm gonna do is, with this one, I start here on the top, right? Use a small pry bar and then chisel it going out. At least we just need a small gap so that we can put in our other pry bar. So we just need to start somewhere, because I don't think there's a that you can pry. Yeah, there's one at the bottom, but we really don't have space there. Well, we can start from here. You just have to be careful, because this is just aluminum. You don't go hammer it like there's no tomorrow, because it's gonna crack. As you can see, it's starting to separate. I just need a small gap here to put our there we go. We just need a very small one just to start with it. Okay, and you can hear a different sound now. Now, since we didn't remove our oil pan there, it's gonna be also tight at the bottom, so just be patient on it. So where's our other? Got our other pry bar here. We're gonna start prying it each side. Right now, I think this guy is stuck on the dowel pins. So you don't want to go crazy, especially this part, like an ear side, like an ear type of design. You don't want to go crazy on that, because that's usually will break off easily if you're gonna go pry it hard. Okay, that's good. I took off one of the dowel pins. Now we're gonna go on this side now. Okay, there you go. I just heard that. I think it's gonna come out now. I think it's still stuck on the old pan area. So let's continue with the prying. Come on, baby. So we go slowly. That's out now. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good. So I need to remove this because I really don't want to remove the other part of this section, this what do you call this, the valve train. So that's good. At least we can see it now here, right? So the old pan area, right? Because since we didn't remove the oil pan, and usually, as I said earlier, when doing timing chains cover, I usually remove that so it's gonna be sealed nicely. But in this case, the oil pan is not be easily be removed because of the subframe and everything. So we're gonna try this, right? But as a preventative for anything that goes into the pan, we just cover something there. If you want, you can put rag, right, or anything, just to make sure that nothing goes in there, especially cleaning the silicone, right? So now what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna cover that section for now. If you really want to be precise, there's tapes, you can use it, right? But let's just use rag for now. Just like that, okay? So this is what I'm talking about, this half moon. Be careful with that. Don't lose that. That's your, we call that, hold down the crankshaft so that it will not spin, the crankshaft pulley. So now what we're gonna do next is we'll loosen our timing chain tensioner, right? And then remove this guy here, at least this guide. What do you need? Okay, yeah, we need to remove this guide. And then where's our marks for our cvvt? That's the other question. So I got a mark here on this side. I got a dot here, a dot mark. But where's the mark for to check for lining up? Oh, there's another mark there. I think that's for our chain. This guy here. So we're not really on the top dead center. We need to turn it more. So I think we should turn it more. Let's turn it more and see. So that you guys can see it. We're just gonna do, I think, one full rotation, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's how it is. So here's our markings. That's for our CVVT exhaust for the chain, and when we line up, we got one line here, and on the intake there's two dots. All right, but this is the marking for the chain, for the intake. For the crank, as you can see there, our half moon is facing 9 o'clock, but the mark on that one is at the bottom. So let me see here. I have a mirror here. Earlier I was using this mirror because I want to see the bolt that I was saying that it was under the... Okay, so the mark on the crank is in there at the bottom. It's a line, right? So now timing chain tensioner, that's 10 mm. I'm just gonna go slowly. So next is our guide, the left side or the exhaust side guide. Oops, let's start. Okay, that's loose. I just need to remove this. Okay, that's good. And then I think something is gonna spin here. I hope not. We're gonna remove this chain. Why doesn't... Do I need to remove the other side? Other... Come on, no? Okay, good. Okay, like that. Just leave it like that. Now we got, I think that's 14. Now the question is, how do we lock this when we torque it? That's 14 there. And I also forgot ordering a new bolt. Usually you replace this new bolt here. Okay, that's good. Here's still our dowel there, as you can see there. I don't think we have damage here at all. That's good. Here's a new part, dowel pin. The bigger hole goes into the dowel pin. There we go. Let me just put it as tighten this, and then we're gonna torque it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put back this chain. Because we're gonna tighten this guy. Because we're supposed to hold something to tighten it. So now, I'm thinking I'm gonna hold it like that. So it's 47 foot-pound. What is it?
Apparently he picked it up on Saturday morning.
Okay, so now I don't know if this is the proper way. It's not the proper way, 100% sure, but let's just torque this guy here. 47 foot-pound. Oh, that spin. Oh, that spin. How are we gonna do this to lock this up? The only thing that we can do like that is to put the tensioner. What?
Is he too scared to drive?
So now, I remove our jet here, the oil jet for the chain. Now what I'm gonna do is put the tensioner in, time it, right? And then what we're gonna do is hopefully that we can hold the whole thing that's not moving. So now make sure the other side. Where's my mirror? Okay, there's the mark there, so we need to move a little bit. Move a little bit. Okay, I'm not on the mark. No, more. So that's on the mark. Now we just have to put this guy on and turn it. Okay. My mark is still there, but we have to put tension on this side, on the exhaust side, intake. Okay, let's move this guy. Okay, that's tight. Loosen it. Let me prepare the tensioner. How's our markings there? Okay. No, you know what? What am I doing? Forgot the. I forgot the guide. Okay. Now I can put our tensioner. Okay. Let me just tighten this a little bit. Now we're gonna torque it later. So double check the markings first. Mark. We got our mark here on our crank. There we go. Now we pull this. And now what I was trying to do was I'm gonna torque this while the crank is in other position. Let's see if we can achieve that. One more, almost there. Okay, good. Last one. Oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, good. Let's torque the spec 47. Let's torque our tensioner first. And you know what? I didn't put our bolt here. It doesn't matter because that one is like there's like a cylindrical there that our guide goes in, so it's okay there. So 10 mm. This is 8.7 foot-ton. Don't forget the jet, the oil jet here. You need to remove this because first when you remove the chain, because the chain can't be removed unless you're gonna remove the guide. I didn't remove the guide earlier. And let's start this guy here. Okay, so now we're gonna turn this to crankshaft rotation and let's see our timing marks here. Okay, that's one. Then two. Okay, let's check. So we got our marks here, as I said earlier, the line mark here on our exhaust, intake 2 dots, our crank, the keyway is at 9 o'clock, but if you want to be very specific, our mark itself at down, that's around, maybe that's not 6 but around 5:30, so that's down. But yeah, so that's how you set up your timing. Now the challenge part will be, I'm gonna start cleaning up all our surfaces, make sure nothing will fall in here. Okay, so we're ready to put our timing chain cover right now. So I cleaned that. And just be careful when you're cleaning it if you're not removing the alt pan. So okay, here's our cover. Oops. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna put our bolts in. Okay, next our 10 mm. Okay, so first we're gonna just tight our corners. Now we can start all the 12 mm, and then we're gonna torque it later. Okay, next is our 10mm. Okay, so now we gotta torque all the 12mm bolts to 16 foot-pound. Okay, next our 10mm, it's 8.7 foot-pound. Okay, so that's done. Now the other challenging part will be our 10mm on our oil pan. So let's see how tricky is this. Where's our oil pan? Using a mirror so I know where to put our... Okay, there's a hole there. I just need to start the thread on this one, and then we can use the wrench. So I'm gonna try to do that. I'm just gonna stop the recording so I can have a good position on my arm. Alright guys, so it's so hard to line up that bolt if you're gonna do it from the top without at least moving the steering rack. As you can see, I move our steering rack. I just have to move our universal joint there. You don't have to fully remove it, just leave this one bolt there hanging, at least it's supporting, and now you can have more space there to line up that one specific bolt there. So we're gonna continue this tomorrow. I'm gonna let it sit for overnight. It's nice and we call that dry on our silicone gasket there. And yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. Okay, so we're back with our cvvt repair. Right now, hopefully that all our silicone gasket is dry. So now we're gonna install our pulley, our tensioner, our belts, right? So let's install first, because on this pulley they have a special tool. I can't find our special tool, very typical in the dealership. But anyway, there's a special tool to hold it, the crank, at least in the opposite side, and then torque it to spec. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it through the belt. I hope it's gonna work. And also on other models, that if you can access the torque converter bolt, which is good because you can always put a socket on there just to prevent it from spinning, right? So let's install first our tensioner. Because I'm gonna install our belt. So make sure that dowel, that alignment dowel is on that hole there on our bracket. How would you know? Let's move this around until it goes in. There you go. Okay, now we're gonna torque it to 47 foot-pound. Okay. Next is I'm gonna put our water pump pulley on this side here. And then we're just gonna torque this bolt later. Okay, now let's install our crank. So make sure you're in the keyway there. Okay. Just gonna snug this first because we're gonna torque it to 38 foot-pound. So 38 foot-pound. Oh, it spins. You know what? Let me put our belt first. Put our water pump belt here first. Because I'm gonna use the tension on the belt to just tighten this crankshaft. I hope it will work. And it's reversing the rotation of the crank is not good, but just do it slowly. I'm just lining up our belt here. Looks like that clicks. I'm just gonna turn that. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna install our belt here for our dry belt. It's 17. Oops, wrong side. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is use this tension here to put more tension on the belt so that it won't slip, and hope that it will work. No. Oh no, that's not good. The other way is to hold the what do you call that? The camshaft. That's the issue there. Okay, let me think of something. Okay, so I'm using a right angle long nose here, putting the notch on the crankshaft pulley. So I'm gonna try to do this. Hold it. Okay, good. Now, after that, let's see if I can do the degrees, because it's asking for 80 degrees. So more.
Hold on.
Oh.
That was like 22.
Huh?
That was like 22 degrees.
That's 36 degrees.
Oh.
So that didn't work. So let me just retorque that first, but I'm just gonna gun this a little bit. Okay. That should be fine. Hi. So that's the issue there. We don't have that special tool. But anyway, for me, that's good enough. I never really had an issue before just using a impact wrench to tighten that bolt. Okay, so I'm just gonna torque our water pump pulley here. 8.7. Unfortunately, we didn't torque it properly here, but I'm confident enough with that. So you need a special tool to do that, okay? Unless you're gonna open your valve cover, which is I don't want to open it because it's gonna be a whole mess again, and then hold the camshaft and tighten it if you don't have that special tool. Or you can make your own special tool there just to hold the crankshaft, right? Put it in a opposite way and then you can torque it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and install this guy here. Okay, now don't forget your vacuum line there and your connector, and I think that's all that we remove. Yeah, I think that's all of it. And of course I have to fill up with coolant because we drain coolant, because this is a coolant line if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's a coolant line. Yeah, because this is going here, so that's why I drain. And also it came for a service one, I had to drain oil. So now I'm just gonna put our coolant and oil, and then we're gonna monitor our data and see. Okay, so we're gonna do our first startup here, and let's cycle the ignition and let's see. Okay, that's a good sign that it started. So our timing repair, it's good. Started one time. So now I'm just gonna warm this up, and at least I can bleed the coolant. And let's come back and check our exhaust camshaft position and see. Okay guys, so we got 97 degrees Celsius right now on our water temperature. I pull up our data for our camshaft position. We're just focusing on the exhaust because that's what we repaired, right? And last time we saw that it was hanging, so let's now go ahead and play around with our RPM. Okay, that's good that it follows. Let go. Okay, let's try again. Okay, that's good. That's good. I didn't see any. Let's just take off all these guys here so that it's bigger screen, because right now it's just the exhaust. Okay, so now let's try again. Okay, current position, there's some movement there. 74, 75, whatever here, 73. Okay, so there's just 2 degrees something on that area. It's moving around. It's okay, not too much difference. And like before, I forgot the numbers, 70 or something like that, I'm not sure, but it's way off, right? And that's good. It responds right away. Here slowly. Okay, so I'm just playing around up and down the RPM. Okay, we didn't see any slow response from our current position. Okay, so yeah, I double checked our timing chain cover, no leak. So yeah, that's it guys. Unfortunately I didn't show you guys the special tool on our crank pulley, right, to torque it correctly. But yeah, what can we do? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let me know what you guys think, and thanks again for watching. See you next time.